You know, with the season ending, there's a ton of talk about the champions, but not as much talk for the guys who came up short. And one of those guys that came up so close, but yet seemingly so far away, was Denny Hamlin. Hamlin is a top-level NASCAR driver. There's no doubting that. But for some reason, the big trophy at the end of the year just always eludes him. So, will he ever break through? Well, let's look into it. Hamlin started out his Cup career hot. In 2006, he actually was competing for the Nextel Cup as a rookie. Ultimately, he ended up third in points, but it was a successful season still. Not too often do you see a rookie sweeping the Pocono races in a season. The next time he competed for a title would be 2010. This would be under much different circumstances in 2006. Instead of being the underdog rookie, he was one of the favorites to win the championship. While not being the most consistent driver all season, Hamlin was the winningest one. And heading into the final two races, he was leading the points and seemingly was on his way to victory. But as many saw play out, Denny Hamlin and his team collapsed, handing the victory to Jimmie Johnson. While heartbreaking for Hamlin at the time, there still was plenty of time left in his career to get it done. Thus, when he made it into the Final Four as an underdog in 2014, it felt like he might be able to pull off a miracle. Ultimately, though, it would once again prove not to happen as Kevin Harvick and Ryan Newman would duel each other at the end of the season. It wouldn't be until 2019 and 2020 that Hamlin would compete for a title again. At this point, it's later in Hamlin's career, so with time running out, these ones seem to hold a bit more weight. Hamlin really had a huge late career resurgence, and 2019 was lining up to be his year. That was until his crew added an extra piece of tape on the grill. Yeah, an extra piece of tape. That's it. That's what cost him his 2019 season. Now, we'll never know if he had the speed to go up and get the win from Kyle Busch in the championship. We'll never know how it would have played out, but he never got the chance. And then, fast forward to this past year in 2020, where he just plainly was slow in the final race after winning 7 times. So that just leads us to this moment, where we're at now, talking about it. Hamlin now has been in Cup for 15 years and has 44 victories to his name and sits in a tie for 18th on NASCAR Cup Series all-time win list. He only needs 7 more wins to be the winningest driver in NASCAR history without a Cup title. Hamlin has the talent to get the job done, but crucial mistakes always get in the way. Plus, he races against some of the best. I mean, look at the guys he lost titles to: Jimmie Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott. All elite drivers. I personally think that he can get the job done, but there's just one giant X factor that might over time take away from that, and it's his age. Hamlin recently turned 40 years old, so he's definitely approaching the end of his career. When it comes to drivers at that age, really, they typically run well, but they don't improve to win championships. Jimmie Johnson and Dale Earnhardt are the only 2 drivers in the last 35 years to do this. And while Hamlin's a great driver, I really don't think he's in the same category as Jimmie Johnson or Dale Earnhardt. The key deciding factor will be the playoff format. No matter your opinions on the format, you can agree that it is very forgiving for a few bad races at different points. If Hamlin hits it hot at the right time, you're looking at Denny Hamlin, NASCAR Cup Series champion. The changes in 2021 may affect the schedule for the regular season as well, but the layout for the playoff tracks will remain untouched aside from Kansas and Texas flipping spots. So, at least for the next year, weak spots from 2020 can be addressed, and this is being with Joe Gibbs Racing of all teams. JGR and Toyota are 2 of the best when it comes to teams and manufacturers. And with Hamlin's own effort at 2311 Racing being a branch on of the Toyota tree, you know that he'll get the best of the best. So what do I think? Will Hamlin win a Cup title? In my opinion, no. While Hamlin is a top-level driver, I think there's some hurdles that he just can't get over. For one, he has troubles in big moments, especially with championships on the line. Also, his age doesn't help him at all, because as you get older, you start to really lose that sharpness as a driver. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some guys that are older that are really good, like Kevin Harvick, but at the same time, there's some guys who weren't very good as older drivers. But the biggest reason that I think the answer is no is because of the next-gen car. I think changing up cars this late into a driver's career isn't necessarily a positive. And also, outside of just his driving, Denny Hamlin now has an out plan for his retirement. So it's not like he's going to be driving too much longer. I'm not saying he's retiring in the next year or two, but I wouldn't be surprised if he retired in 4 or 5 years. So with all this being said, from my perspective, I do not think Denny Hamlin will win a Cup title. He might be the winningest driver ever to not win a title after it's all said and done. He's shown that he can put up good numbers, it's just not when they matter most. But if there's any driver that I think could prove me wrong here, it's Denny Hamlin. So with that being said, I want to pass this off to you. Do you think Denny Hamlin will win a Cup Series Championship? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And until next time, have a good one.